with the Diesel and the Jet. This is Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. In this game, we'll see the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Checking out the Clippers, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. And I think we're really going to enjoy this type of game, a battle of super athletes, if you will. Shaq, this question for you. Can either team slow the other ones down, or are we just looking at a high-flying free-for-all?
I don't really care about that, Ernie, right now. Get your popcorn ready. You want highlights, just the game you want to see.
You don't care.
Just,
obviously,
Ernie,
you do
I want
care.
some popcorn, I want some butter, I want some salt. I just want to watch this game, Ernie.
All the things
you
that
like
are great
that
for your
fake butter they
cholesterol.
put on sometimes at,
Yes,
the,
I do.
At the movie theater?
Yes, I sure do.
You like that fake popcorn?
I have a technique. I just roll it and bing, 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 three. Boom, boom, boom.
Bing, 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 bing. Doesn't really translate. I don't know what you're talking about. How about the game, Kenny?
Well, I mean, this is a basketball fan heaven game. A game that you just sit back and say, let everyone go do what they want to do. Do not worry about anything, because this is ultimately a great game.
And have plenty of popcorn for this heavenly matchup. Kevin Harlan, the angelic one, has the call.
No butter.
You mean heaven, Harlan.
Thank you for tuning in this Sunday evening. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Here at the Staples Center, the fans here in Los Angeles amping up for the Clippers. So the Clippers win the tip. Looking at the starting five for the Atlanta Hawks. We've got the monster. Young is out there with Hardaway. Then it's Thabo Sefolosha. And it's Fareed in at the power forward position.
Boy, Doc Rivers keeps on leading his teams to successful seasons. And the former coach of the year rarely has a season where his team doesn't meet expectations.
Now here is Sefolosha. 6 on the shot clock. Young for 3. It's rebounded by Leonard. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Hey, Kevin, I caught up with Coach Doc Rivers. He's certainly aware of the shot blocking talent on the other roster, but he doesn't want his guys to change their approach too much. He said, listen, we've got to continue to score in the paint. We can't just live on the outside. I just told our guys, when you jump up, jump into their body to try to take their legs away. Kevin, we'll see if they can score inside.
Thanks for getting back to us on that report, Doris. Guys?
You know, they obviously spent the brunt of their time preparing for this game by coming up with ways to attack that vaunted defense.
Attack being the operative word, all in caps. I mean, it has to be an active, assertive approach they use. They can't sit back and be passive.
And Doc Rivers passed the 700-win mark as a coach last season. He's climbing the ladder in career wins.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know that Doc oftentimes gets enough credit for the type of coach he is. I mean, as a coach, he is well over 500 in terms of his career win percentage. And how about over 500 in playoff games as well?
Not to the surprise of anyone, really, but the Clippers last year were strong at home once again. They managed to go 30-11 at Staples Center.
And Kevin, that makes 3 straight seasons for the Clippers of 30 or more wins at home.
He hits the second from the line.
You know, the big thing for the Clippers is that they won some big games in Staples over tough opponents. I mean, also won 6 of their last 7 to secure the 3 seed in the West.
Now here's Leonard. Outside, George. The Clippers need to get off a shot. Here's Jackson. A three-pointer, no good.
And one issue with the Clippers at home is that it didn't feel like they were at home. But Blake Griffin said home court advantage is just not there for us. And this is on the heels of a loss where the crowd was cheering for the other team rather than the Clippers at times.
And the official officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Clippers shooting their first free throw attempt on the night.
Only 71% from the line last season, and rest assured they're hoping to bring those numbers up this year.
Yeah, as a group, really a dismal year for them from the line last season, guys.
And that one misses. Clark, one thing about the Hawks last year is they were very strong on the road, as you could have guessed.
Yeah, but Kevin, they struggled a little bit down the stretch on the road, but still managed to have the best road record in the East.
Now, here is Young. Misses the layup.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over.
And George kicks to Jackson. And a miss there on the triple.
And how about that road record for the Hawks? 25-16 last season. 9 of those wins came during that 19-game winning streak in early 2015. They are 0 for the game thus far. 0-4 here, still looking for their first make.
Got a hand on it. Fast break, the Hawks. And here we go. And Young with the basket on the assist from Hardaway. Young's got his first points in this one. LA's gone 0 of 2 from deep here.
Boy, you look at the Hawks, and they seem to be built to play on the road because they can survive a player having an off game. They're so deep and versatile. Team basketball is a lot less prone to go cold when you're on the road.
The right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his...
Now, Clark, that is just ridiculous.
Absolutely filthy. I don't remember ever seeing a dunk like that in a game. I certainly can't remember the last time I saw it.
I tell you what, fellas, you might not see another one like that one for a while.
Here's George following the bucket by the Hawks. Good on the shot.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
Young with the ball. Hardaway from outside. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
A good open look, and he splashes home the three.
Clippers have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Noah the screen. George passes to Williams. They set the pick. And George, here we go. Atlanta with the rebound. Sefolosha dishes to Hardaway. Here's the monster. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. 6 points for the monster.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
Now here's Leonard. Outside, George. Noah with a screen for George. With some arc, and he lays it up and in.
Guys, that time you went for the fancy finish for us there, man. That was sweet.
Now Young. And here is Hardaway. Now the pass to the monster. 5 on the clock. But Trey. Young's shot is off.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Outside Jackson. Curls it from outside. Jackson's got his first 3 points of the game.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
Now, here is Young. Over to the wing. Here's the monster. And they come right back with their own 3-pointer. The monster's got 9.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want. And guys, that's one of the more basic plays in anybody's playbook, but not to mention also truly one of the best.
And Greg, the pick frees him up, and Clark, the dunk, caps it off.
Well, you know, for me, guys, it's all about positioning and anticipation on those screen plays, and they got it right there.
And Atlanta calls their first time out of the game.
You know, no doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
Hawks have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far, right at the 50% mark. And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
Here's Williams following the 3 by Atlanta. There's a screen by Williams. Outside Jackson. Pass to George. 5 to shoot. That's tipped. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. And Los Angeles with some changes. Smith checked in for Leonard. Lance Stevenson comes in for Williams. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Jackson. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Okafor's checked in. Splitter comes in for Kenneth Faried. Turner's checked in for Cephalosha. And it's Teague in for Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, here is Young. Splitter with a screen on Beverley. Picked by Okafor. And Young kicks to Okafor. The Hawks working the ball around. Pass to Young. 6 to shoot. From past the arc. That's good. Young's got 5.
12 straight points off of three-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
And guys, now that they're rolling from out there, the defense has to really get up into them. You got to almost be in their jerseys to try to deny those looks.
And here is Los Angeles now, following the 3 by Atlanta. And it's Stevenson missing.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
Young past the Splitter. Back to Young. Here's the 3. And it's Teague. That time on the assist by Young. And now it's a 10-point Hawks lead.
Man, they are doing some damage from deep.
Which is the main reason, partner, they're sitting on this big lead. Awesome shooting so far.
Now here is George. 6 points for him. And that is good.
And how's that for a move? The killer crossover. It's a thing of beauty.
The Hawks leading by 8. And Young kicks to Okafor. Young against Beverley. Back to Okafor. That's short off the rim. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. George poked loose.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
And Turner kicks to Young. A 3-pointer off the mark.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Guys, Josh Smith, an interesting case. Clark, he shot about 2 triples a game last year, yet for the last 3 seasons, his free throw percentage has been under, surprisingly, 55%.
Yeah, and that's terribly troubling. I mean, his three-point percentage improved in Houston, but the free throws, really, he can do much better than that. You look at his stroke, I think it's just a matter of concentration with Josh.
And with Smith and his shooting, a lot of it is mental. I mean, he has a terrific stroke from anywhere. The free throws are all in his head because he can make threes. He's just got to be a little more focused.
And he sinks the second.
And, you know, thinking again about Smith, he made some big shots for the Rockets last year, but you never know quite what you're going to get with him taking perimeter shots.
Now here's Teague. He dishes it to Okafor. And Augustine kicks to Splitter. And the rejection by Smith. And he recovers it. And once again off the mark by Atlanta. Clippers trail by 7. And now running up the court, Stevenson pushing it up. And that one is stuffed right through. Atlanta is shooting 47% from the field to start things off. Augustine dishes to T. On the wing, Turner. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. Marcus Morris picks one up there.
And Evan Turner is one of those guys. He just gives you a little bit of everything. I mean, he can play multiple positions, handles the ball, he can pass it, shoot it. Kind of a Swiss Army jackknife who uses multiple tools to his advantage.
And he knocks down the first one. Well, Greg, for Evan Turner, the one area where he can still develop in a big way is with the jump shot. Clark, 28% from 3 last season. Really is not going to make it.
Yeah, that's been the one stain on his game, the lack of that deep shooting ability, but everything else he can do. He can handle, he passes and rebound, but to be an elite player, he's got to be able to knock down that 3-ball there.
And how thrilled must have Evan Turner been last season to get a second chance, Clark, with the boost in minutes, confidence, of the coaching staff. His game almost just changed overnight.
Yeah, he's a guy who needs the basketball. He's such a good, solid playmaker and has excellent size. Never had a chance in Indiana to really handle the ball and play to his strengths because of Paul George and Lance Stevenson, but he found a nice niche in Boston.
Well, you know what he can do after watching him for so many years with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he's terrific. Good basketball IQ, too.
Here's Augustine following the basket by Lance Stevenson. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. .135 left in the first quarter.
And boy, did Evan Turner make the most of his second chance last season. Played with more focus, huge minutes for him with the Celtics. He may have found a home. They hold the early advantage on the glass.
Yeah, nothing major, not a huge advantage, but certainly a good sign for them going forward.
Now here's Splitter. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change.
You know, it was a career year all around for Tucker last season. Still has work to do on his game, but showed he can contribute to a winning team. Very good value for his contract, too. You can never discount that.
Atlanta leading by 4. T kicks to Turner. Top of the key. And he gets the bucket.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
LA is gone just 1 of 4 from 3-point range here in the first. Augustine against Beverly. And Okafor with the block. Now here is Augustine. T right on him. Splitter sets a screen. Turner passes to Okafor. The jump hook. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. And now it's an 8-point Hawks lead. The Clippers shooting 39% in the early minutes of this game. Here's Stevenson. And Okafor with the block. Here's Smith.
Look at the big fella working on that possession. He knows how to fend guys off and get those rebounds.
And so the first quarter is in the books. Hawks lead by 8. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. Let's take a moment to hear a little bit from Josh Smith about his development throughout his NBA career.
You know, coming in at 18, you know, really inexperienced, not knowing what this league was about. And I went through so many stages. I've grown tremendously over my career.
Kodak growth in his voice, don't you think? And it's interesting to hear Josh Smith talking about getting introspective about himself and his game at this point of his career.
You know, that's a great point there, Kevin. I mean, like he says, he really has grown tremendously as a player, as a teammate, as a man, and just as an adult person in society. And he's become a real credit to our game.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And for the Hawks, guys, what stands out to you stats-wise?
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently.
You know, so surprising he goes for a slam that difficult while they're trailing.
Yeah, but still, you know what? A magnificent move to the rim.
I tell you what, guys, I don't care what the score is. That's the play we're going to remember when this game is over.
Hardaway kicks to Fareed. Got it. Good job in the low post. Fareed's got his first 2 points. The Hawks offense was a thing of beauty at times to watch last year. They really came together. They epitomized that term team so well.
You hit it right on the head. I mean, they knew how to find the open end. The ball always ended up in the right spot, and so many of their shots came from assists, second in the league in that category.
George hacks a two-pointer. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Teague dishes to Hardaway. Back to Teague. And here's Sefolosha for three. They get it back. Out to Hardaway. Screen by Fareed. The fader. Passes to Sefolosha. To the right side. Hawks passing it around. Right wing. Here's the monster, covered by Smith. With the hook shot. No good off the back of the rim.
Well, I tell you what, the Hawks were terrific in so many different ways last year offensively. They led the league in catch and shoot points per game. And when you watch video, that's what stands out. There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Outside Teague. Feeds it to Fareed. Back to Teague. They set the screen. In the corner, Sefolosha with it. That one wide left.
Hawks also led the league in catch and shoot threes per game last season. They have a roster of guys that can knock it down with space and really made the most of it.
Teague drives in. From 8 feet away, he drops it in. Teague's got his second basket of the night. Well, you just watched Jeff Teague. He's a natural scorer. Clark, he's also made steady improvement as a...
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
You can tell he's starting to really figure it out, and the game is slowing down for him.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
And Teague's also athletic. You know, sometimes you forget that. I mean, this guy's got the tools also to be a terrific defender. And I still think he's developing consistency at that end of the floor.
Young's checked in for the Hawks. Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played.
And speaking of Jeff Teague's defense, I mean, his rebounding, I think, could also be a little higher. I mean, with his bounce, he can get in there and grab a few more.
That one's in there. The Hawks lead is cut down to 3 on the bucket from Jackson.
Good job there by Leonard setting that screen.
Kicks it to Sefolosha. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Here's the monster. Nice teamwork to set up the pick play and make the space for the J.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Leonard with no one around. No good. That's miss number 2. He's 1 for 3. Here's Young. He's got 5. pass to the monster. Shot clock at 6. Here's Fareed. And the rejection by Leonard. Out of bounds, Hawks ball as Atlanta keeps possession. And so it's Atlanta with it. They've led by as much as 10.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Some great play by Paul George tonight. 10 points, and he hasn't forgotten to get his teammates involved either.
And he's conscious, I think, Clark, of good ball movement. It needs to be a part of their game plan throughout.
Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
And he can't get the first one.
For my man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
Good on the second free throw.
And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level.
And it's sent back by George. Dishes it to Leonard. Fires at the elbow. That's good. Leonard's got his second bucket of the night. Atlanta's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. 6 of 13. Pass to the monster. Back to Young. Looking to end his cold spell, and the layup is up and in. Young's got 7 points.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But boy, that was a nice job.
The feed to Hardaway. And that one goes long. Clippers trail by 4. And George kicks to Jackson. And he gets it to go. Jackson's got 6 points in the quarter.
And started hot, and he's only gotten harder. And guys, the Clippers last year, they were okay.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
They would have just really feasted on the East.
Atlanta calls timeout. As you said with the Clippers, Greg, they did decently against the Eastern Conference. But of the Western playoff teams, Clark, they had the second worst record against the Eastern Conference.
And, you know, things like that matter, Kevin. I mean, they struggled against Eastern Conference playoff teams, went only 6-10 against those teams last year.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for the Clippers. Outside Hardaway. Passes it to the monster. He feeds it to Young. Shot clock at 5. Atlanta needs to get off a shot here. And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
There's the dish to George. Shoots off the screen. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. Jackson's got 3 assists in the game. Young passes to Fareed. And there's the pass to the monster. Out to the right wing. That misses off the backboard.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Jackson kicks to Leonard. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. Atlanta's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. 6 of 13. Outside Hardaway. And it's a defensive 3-second violation.
Hey.
The Hawks shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
One shot, gentlemen.
The Hawks were fantastic last season. After the All-Star break, they did slip up a bit, struggled against teams over 500.
A different look for the Clippers. Marcus Morris is checked in for George. Lance Stevenson comes in for Lou Williams. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Reggie Jackson. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Okafor's checked in. Splitter comes in for Kenneth Faried. Turner's checked in for Cephalosha. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Hardaway.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
Young dishes to Augustine. Outside Turner. Shot clock at 6. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. They lost the last 3 games of the regular season, Clark, and really just limped into the playoffs. Some of it might have just been fatigue.
Yeah, it could have been, and their play at the end of the season did leak into the playoffs, Kevin. I mean, you could see very quickly that they weren't the same team that looked so dominant during the regular season.
Both free throws good from Augustine. And Greg, how about DJ Augustine on the roller coaster ride last season, beginning in Detroit, ending up in a very creditable position with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah, and a lot of that was because Jennings was so inconsistent for Stan Van Gundy last year, even so much so that he started starting Augustine, and this was just a small part of the turmoil for Detroit last season.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
And Leonard gets it to go.
They've done a really good job of knocking down their long-distance shots here in the second quarter. And they're shooting just above 40% from downtown. That's outstanding. So back to DJ Augustine. It's the middle of last year, and he and Jennings are practically splitting time at the point. Then Jennings goes down with an Achilles injury, and it looks like Augustine will take over full-time duty. Nope, the Pistons trade Augustine to Oklahoma City for Reggie Jackson.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
Free throw good for Morris.
You know, one thing about the Augustine-Jackson trade last year, it didn't help either the Thunder or the Pistons make the playoffs. It's just so hard to integrate a new player into your system that far into the season, especially when that player is a point guard. So a wild ride for Augustine.
You know, you work hard all season, Greg, to try and get into the playoffs, then get a favorable first-round matchup. How about the Clippers last year? Followed those steps. They're rewarded with the first-round matchup against the defending champions of the league, the San Antonio Spurs.
And not only were the Spurs the defending champions, but they came in playing terrific basketball down the stretch, which is kind of what they are noted for. And the Clippers, though, did well, even though that was the case.
Jeff Teague, he's checked in for Young. Los Angeles on D. It's a three-point game, but they recover it. Teague, the pass to Augustine. 5 on the clock. A second chance effort. Good work defensively by Morris. L.A. has gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory.
Boy, I tell you, it was a tough road for the Clippers in the playoffs. They get by the Spurs in round 1 in a 7-game emotional series, then immediately have to go up against the Rockets in round 2.
Los Angeles leading by 3. Everly with the ball. Picked up by Teague. Here's Stevenson. Uses both hands to slam it down.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it. And we all remember the Clippers would go up 3-1 against the Rockets. They had that 19-point lead in the fourth quarter of Game 6, but couldn't hold on to it and lose Game 7. And it was one of the biggest series collapses, really, in postseason history. And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply.
1:49 left in the second quarter. There's the pick. Pass to Augustine. Trains it from beyond the arc. Augustine's got 5 points in the quarter.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Offensive rebound. Noah. And that one is hammered home.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
In the corner, it's Stevenson. Atlanta with the rebound. Splitter's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Feeds it to Okafor. He kicks it to Splitter. The stupendous finish in traffic.
They've slowed down casting those triples here in the second.
And Clark, I'd like to see them go back outside. They've been shooting well from the perimeter.
Kicks it to Leonard. Morris with a screen on Turner. Leonard dishes to Morris. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Leonard's got 3 assists tonight. The Hawks trail by 7. Now here's Teague. 5 points in the game. He dishes it to Splitter. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
Incredible, incredible body control right there. Don't know how he was able to get that one to go. It sure was a thing of beauty to watch.
Stevenson can't get it to go. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. Clippers ahead, leading by 4. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. Well, Doc, as we get into the second half, what do you expect to see from this offense you're facing tonight?
Well, they're moving the ball. They're just playing to the hot hand, and we got to expect that. So let's not let anyone get hot. That would be nice.
Coach, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Paul George taking care of business in this one. He had 13 points, 3 assists, and 1 block. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, I love how they're getting points in transition. It's about pushing the ball, being aggressive, and then finishing with authority. Several times they beat the defense down the floor and ended up with easy buckets. If they can continue to keep that tempo up in the second half, they'll be difficult to beat.
And Shaq, what'd you see from Atlanta?
Well, how about that contribution they got from the bench? Nice. Those are some much-needed points, and it keeps them right in the game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him dig a little deeper into that bench. Some games you just got to go with the lineups that are working and just improvise, Ernie.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.